3, 2, 1. Hey everyone, welcome into the Flippin' Hippos YouTube channel. I'm Star. If you're new here or you haven't yet, please consider subscribing and helping us feed a hungry hippo. And don't forget to hit the thumbs up. So we are getting into the time of the year where it's back to school, which means the end of the summer slowdown going into Q4. August is kind of that weird month every year that sales usually start picking up, but we're still not fully into Q4. Actually, that doesn't start till October. September, you'll see another increase in the sales. But August is always that month that I try to use to prepare myself for Q4 and going into September. So I like to use September to do a hard push on extra listings on all of our platforms and just getting more items up and getting prepared for Q4. So I like to list more. So I have more active listings when we go into the holiday season. But I also like to use September to double check my active listings that are already up. If I have any plush with Santa hats or candy canes or in a stocking, do I have those keywords in the title? Does it say holiday? Does it say Christmas? I like to double check that I have good keywords and hashtags on items that may be seen as gifts. And this year will be my first Q4 with jewelry. So I want to make sure all of that is set up. We're going to talk more about what to do in September, getting towards Q4 later on this channel as we get into that time. But I would like to preface this video with letting you know that September is when I use for listings as far as listing new and editing what's already up. And August is kind of that weird month in between that you're still kind of slow. It's still kind of the summer, but it's back to school and things should be picking up. So this is the month that you can use to finish your organization. You were organizing, right? You did watch my summer slowdown video on how to be productive and get organized during the summer. I hope you did those things. If you didn't, I'll have it pop up. But this is the month you can make sure that your inventory audit is done, that you've double checked all your listings, that they're listed, they didn't fall off, that everything's good to go. You can be listing and delisting and relisting, changing your titles, changing your photos, streamlining things. And this is the time where you really want to think about, do I have a good routine in place? Do I have a good hold on my time management? Do I manage my time well? Do I fiddle fart around? Do I waste time? Are my processes not streamlined? Am I doing things in a way that's taking me longer than it should? Am I not being as productive as I can be? You can be thinking of all of these things so that when you go into Q4, you will be streamlined. Your processes will be top-notch. You won't be wasting money. You won't be wasting time. You'll be getting more done every single day in a time of year where we're all a lot more busy. So I want to share with you guys my weekly schedule and what an average day looks like for me. Now, before I show you my little graphic I made on Canva, it's really cute, very pleased with myself. I am a very organized person. One of my favorite things in life is to create routines and fiddle fart around with my own time management. But I'm diagnosed OCD, and I have anxiety, also diagnosed, and I'm type A personality, and I hyper focus on things. So all of that I say to you to let you know the way I work is different from most people. I can hyper focus on one task. I can sit and take pictures for 6-hour time. I can sit and do listings for 6 hours. I can sit and record all my YouTube videos in one day to then put them out over the week. Not everyone is like that. Not everyone can focus like that. So you have to figure out what your personality is and how you work best. Some people work best in time chunks. Some people work best with quantity. So you can say, I do pictures for an hour, listing for an hour, or I take 10 pictures, list 10 items. Whichever for you feels like a more attainable goal, something that you can do and succeed at, is what I would recommend. Finding a way to get yourself to be on that schedule is what's important. It's not how you do it or what you do. If you want to have one day of photos, one day of listing like I do, that's great. If you want to do all of the things that you do each day in little chunks or increments, that's good too. And then figure out if you work best with time constraints, time goals, or if you work best with quantity. I find that a lot of my friends who have a harder time focusing like the quantity because they can see the pile. They can bring a pile of 10 pairs of jeans in a stack, or a little pile of 10 plushies or 10 pairs of shoes. They can visually see that pile. And as they're measuring it and photographing it, they can see the pile getting smaller, and that helps them attain their goals and reach them. So you have to figure out what works best for you. I think that's like the most important thing. And then once you figure that out is when you build your schedule. And then you have to figure in things like your family and things like that. Keep in mind, before I show you this also, I am an empty nester. Both of my kids are in their 20s. They live across the state. They have their own lives. So I don't have small children to put on school buses or home during the summer to contend with. My only pet is a hamster, which is very low maintenance. I don't have like dogs or cats or any animals that constantly need attention or chew up furniture or anything like that. She lives in her cage. She sleeps all day. She comes out at night. She's the best pet I've ever had. Love Lola so much, but she has very low maintenance. I mean, hamsters aren't a lot. So my schedule is going to look a little bit different than people that have young children to take care of, or 10 dogs or goats or a farm. We're not all the same. So my schedule cannot be your schedule because you are not me, but it can give you a starting point. It can give you something to look at and think about when you sit down to make your own schedule. And I also do like my time off, so I don't like to work the weekends. I also have a disability, so I have to work around that. A lot of what I do to work around my disability isn't so much schedule-based, but how I work. So I do a lot of my pictures on this white table here, sitting down in this chair. That's why I really like doing jewelry and plush, especially. I can just put them on the table and take pictures while I sit. And then jeans, I have to stand up for like the front and back photo, and then I can sit down to take photos of the tags, and I can sit down while I measure jeans as well. So I have found ways to work around my disability. I do order a lot of my inventory shipped to the house, so I don't have to go out and stand for hours at thrifts and go through items and bend into the cart and all of that. But I do keep in mind to give myself some grace, I guess, throughout the week. There's days where I don't always do everything I wanted to do that day because I had to take a couple breaks and go lay on my heating pad. And then I have good weeks too. I have good weeks where my back is, hey, you can do all these things and it's great. And then I swear there's weeks where like 10 minutes into the workday, I'm like, oh, I hurt. Anybody with chronic pain or disability understands. Sometimes you just have a really good day, and sometimes you just have a really bad week, and you just have to give yourself grace. But that's the point of having these routines and this time management in place, because you can get to a point where you're a little bit ahead. I talk about this a lot too. Having a bank is so super important. So having extra items photographed, having extra listings that are ready to go but not listed anywhere yet, and then maybe scheduling out ahead of time on eBay. They let you go 3 weeks out. Do whatever you can, a couple days a week, but that will enable you to give yourself that grace. If you know that you, on good days, when things are great, when you have the time, when the kids are, doing what they're back at school or whatever, or you're having a good day with your mental health or your physical health, if you take those extra photos, if you make those extra listings, if you schedule those things out on eBay, the day that your dog needs to go to the vet or life happens, you're okay. So always take advantage of the days where you have the time to work, where you're feeling good and you can get more done. Really pound it out, really grind it out. So the days when life happens, you're okay. So I preface all of that just to let you know, people do look at my schedule and they're like, how do you do it all? And I'm like, I don't know. I just hyper focus and I really get things done. When I work, I really work. I feel like when I really apply myself and I'm focused, in an hour, I can do what most folks would do in 2 hours. But also remember that maybe the day I have to take 2 or 3 breaks throughout the day to rest my back. Or it might be the next day might be when one of my debilitating headaches hits and I can't do anything. So I like to really work when I can and hyper focus. I also am very much, I like a clean home, and I like really clean. I like to say I'm Monica clean from Friends. But I, of course, because of my back, I'm very limited on how long I can clean for and how much I can do in one day. So Keith and I follow the Fly Lady system. If you're not familiar with her, I'll link her down below. but she allows you just to do a little bit of cleaning each day so that you're not spending one day every week cleaning. Most people, do that. They'll spend all day Sunday cleaning their home and resetting it for the week, and then not so much deep cleaning during the week. And then again, on the weekend, they're cleaning. I can't physically, I don't want to, but I cannot physically spend an entire day cleaning. So I deep clean one thing a day, following her system. You're in a different room each week. And if you can get your spouse and your kid on board, or your kids, you can get even more done. So like I've got Keith on board now. So, when we're in zone 2 in the kitchen, Monday I can clean the microwave really good, and he can clean the oven. I can clean the fridge. He can deep clean the cupboards or whatever. So you're tackling 2 of the tasks at a time. So let me show you my schedule. I gotta show you my screen. And then I want you to, go from there. So this is, I guess this is like a day in the life of my reselling schedule, but it's not exciting, okay? I don't like thrifting. I don't hate it. I just don't love it. I guess I don't really dislike it either. I go once a month with my eBay group here, and I do have a good time when I go, but I wouldn't want to go every week. I wouldn't want to go every day. I don't like leaving the comfort of my own home. I don't like the toll it puts on me physically whenever I go thrifting. I do have to come home and lay down on my heating pad. I have to take a pain pill. I usually take a nap. It's a whole big thing. And I don't think I've ever really talked about that on here as much as, I'm just reclusive. I don't like to leave the house. But there's a lot of reasons why I like wholesale more than thrifting. I'm not a big thrifter, so, my daily schedule is not that exciting, which is why I've never really filmed a day in the life of, because I focus on one task a day. It's very boring. By design, I have a very boring, monotonous reselling schedule that I've never even really bothered filming a day in the life, because it's 8 hours of whatever that day's task is. It's not exciting. But I will show you. I created this little graphic on Canva. I found just by going to Google, I found a calendar, and I just created this little graphic on Canva. And everything in purple is my cleaning schedule, and everything in black is my work schedule. Now, of course, this is just like a skeleton layout. This is the basic weekly plan. And then in my planner, I actually lay it out, here's like last Thursday's. I've got my tasks on there, and I got the grocery store and stuff. So I still use my bullet journal, and you can see I write a lot in there. I get a lot of my to-dos and things in there. But my basic layout for the week is thus. It changes every week. I'm flexible. I like my routines. I don't like to deviate from them, but I do understand that life can change, and so I am flexible in being able to change the days that I do things. In fact, up until this week, my filming day was on Fridays. However, with some other things that are going on Fridays with my true crime party I do for a listing party, and me wanting to get ahead on listings and photos going into the weekend, I've decided to switch my filming day to Monday. I also like to kind of be a little lazy on Fridays and fiddle fart around. So I really just don't want to put makeup on. I want to sit around in pajamas and maybe just sit on my computer and do some listings. Monday's the first day of the week. Maybe I want to film that day. And I did mention in my midweek motivation video this week, the advice my dad gave me, always get the most tedious tasks, or the ones you want to do the least, out of the way first. And even though I love to film, I love making videos, I love teaching, it still is this whole process for me. I have to do my makeup, I have to do my hair, which I normally don't do throughout the week. You guys, I sit here and look like a homeless troll in my pajamas, which is fine with me. That's the freedom of working from home. But it is a whole process of having to be camera ready, but I have to sit and plan my videos and make outlines and do all these things. So I'm like, you know what? Monday's the first day of the week. It's when you really get up motivated to start a new week and get things done. And let's just get this out of the way first thing. So I switched it. My photos used to be on Thursdays, but I have found that when I go grocery shopping, sometimes that can eat up half my morning or all of my morning. There are days when I have gotten home from getting the groceries and I don't even get to work until 1 o'clock. That's because I like to put all my errands on one day. So this says groceries, but because I like to batch work in reselling, I like to batch work in life as well. And I like to plan everything ahead of time. So if I know I'm going to leave the house Wednesday, I'm going to have makeup on, I'm going to be out and about, I'm going to get everything done. So that way I'm only leaving the house to do the things that need done once a week. Some days that's up the road, get groceries, and I'm home in an hour. And some days I got to go to Ollie's, and some days Walmart too, or to UPS. There's different things. I just try to put all my errands in one day. If I need to go to PetSmart for my hamster, things like that. So I put my photos on Wednesday, my extra photo day here. So that way I have time to do photos, but I'm not putting anything too super important on Wednesday. I always have a bank of extra photos. Listings more important to me unless I run out of photos. So I've switched that. I'm always flexible. I'm always thinking about how I can do more, how I can do better, how I can streamline things. What day is this going to work for me? What day can I be more productive? Like Tuesdays, I can just get up, get a shower, put clean pajamas on. I absolutely put clean pajamas on every single day. I love living in them. And I can just come into the office, get shipping done, put my hair up in a clip, not worry about what I look like, and just get all those listings scheduled, all those listings built, get those banks built. And I know I can do that day. So a day in the life of Star is over here on the left. You see all of these things I try to do every day. Now, this list here is in order of importance / when I wake up. So you see the Instagram post and the Facebook group post. I try to do a motivational post on Instagram every morning, and I try to do a post in my Facebook group that people can participate in, and it gets kind of the group talking and stuff. I usually do those from bed. So when my alarm goes off, I turn it off, but I lay in bed for another 10, 15 minutes. I check all my selling platforms, see if there's offers to send out. I check my notifications, and I post on Instagram and Facebook from bed before I even get up. Then I get my shower and get dressed. At that point, Keith gets up. We make the bed together. I come into the office. I make the pick list. He takes his shower, brings me coffee. Sometimes he does a shower after we do shipping, though, because he does go down in the garage, and he says it's kind of gross. So I get up, get my shower, get dressed. I make the bed with Keith, come to my office, and he will bring me coffee in here while I'm making my pick list. He will go downstairs and pull all the shipping, except for jewelry and comics, which we keep up here in the closet on shelves. So I work on the jewelry and the comics, getting those ready to go, getting them packed up and labels printed. He brings everything up from the garage. We do that shipping together. And then at that point, we break off, and he has his own schedule. He has his own thing that he does. From there, I go into this list. I try to get all of these things done each day. I try to cross-post 20 new items to Posh, Mark, and Macari, delist, relist 10 things. Make sure my eBay scheduled listings are up to date. I try to stay 3 weeks ahead of time. I usually have a YouTube video ready to go, already uploaded, edited on YouTube with a thumbnail, and I just push it out and promote it. Try to catch up on comments, put videos up in other places. I usually have lunch somewhere around the YouTube video, give or take on the day. These are things I try to do in the day. But then I break off because each day is different, which is why I can never really do a day in the life of my life or a video, because the morning is always the same after shipping, up through shipping to lunch. But then on Mondays I film. Tuesdays, work on listings. Wednesdays is photos. Thursday, I work on social media, meaning I'm actually filming extra B-roll and me working behind the scenes. I'm going back through old videos on YouTube and pulling out like segments. These are things that I'm going to use for short videos throughout the week on Instagram and TikTok. So I get all that ready. I do comments, thumbnails, things like that. We do accounting every Thursday. And we also clean out the office every Thursday. I just don't put that on here. But we'll do accounting after lunch. Any items I photographed that need to go in the garage, we take down and put away. Get the office cleaned up and picked up. And this is the day I set up my sales for the following week. We do run sales on eBay all the time. And then on Fridays, I work on listings, usually around 2 o'clock. List Perfectly has a live show on YouTube, so I can listen to that while I'm listing. At 4 o'clock, I host a true crime party for List Perfectly's listing party. And I take photos while I do that. I usually stay there till about 6. I do try to get in my office, making that pick list, getting ready to do shipping by 8:30, 9 o'clock every morning. And I try to be done with work by 6. And these are the chores I do each day after work. And then we have dinner, and then we have our evening. So my chores are kind of like all over the place. They're kind of loosely based on Fly Lady. Like with Fly Lady and Dave Ramsey, and like with you watching me and hearing how I work and seeing my schedules, you need to take what works for you and leave the rest behind. You don't have to emulate anyone specifically. You don't have to follow anyone to a T. You can literally listen to Dave Ramsey or Fly Lady or me or see my schedule. Take what works for you. Take what makes sense for you. Apply that to your life, and you can leave the rest behind. If it doesn't work for you, you don't need to stress about it or worry about it. But this just kind of gives you an idea. There's, the basic things that we all need to be doing every week. We need to be sourcing, photographing, and listing. And you have to ship. Those are your 4 basic things, and everything else can be planned around that. So if you need a visual, you can create a Canva graphic like I did. You can have a bullet journal, but just think how you want to schedule, how you want your days to go, and get in those routines. Like I get up and get a shower and make my bed every day without even thinking. It's like autopilot. I couldn't not make my bed though, because I make it every morning. So now I have to make it every morning. That was like a Fly Lady thing. She says to make your bed every morning. It gets you moving. For me, I like it because it's the first thing I can cross off my to-do list, and I've already done something. So when I make my bed in the morning, I've already done a task. I've already completed something. Makes my room look nice. Makes me feel good about myself. Same thing with showering. And like I said, I put on clean pajamas every day, but it doesn't have to be you. I do have friends that need to dress like they're going to work and put makeup on just to walk across the hall to list. And that's fine. If you need to look like you're going to the office, do it. Do what you need to do to make yourself feel like you're going to work each day. I also recommend like having a separate area. If you can, not everyone has the room, and you need to work with what you've got. If you have a small apartment and your reselling area is like one corner of your living room and that's all you got, that's all you got. But if you do have the ability to set up like a separate whole room for a home office, or just even like a section of a room for a home office, and make that your work area and your work area only, I think that helps as well for that separation. So you can have your schedule, and like I come into my office each morning, but at 6 o'clock at night when I leave this office, I don't come back till the next day. This is my work. Out there is my life. So I like to keep it segregated and separated. But that's a day in my life. So let's, work on your schedules, getting your routines in place, because we are going to be getting into Q4 and you want to be organized. You want to have processes in place. You want to have those banks built, because let's just say you have a really good day in Q4 right before Christmas and you are boxing up and shipping 25, 30 items, and it eats up your whole day. Like, what are you going to do? Oh, I already had scheduled listings. I'm good. And having those supplies on hand too. Make sure that you're checking now. Setting up a shipping station, first of all, is super important, but check your supplies. Make sure you have all of your boxes, your envelopes, your stickers, your labels, everything you need to ship successfully. I think that's all I wanted to talk to you guys about today. I kind of wanted to do a day in the life of, but I realized I really couldn't. I've been trying to film it for like a couple weeks. I'm like, every day is different and boring. Every day is different and boring. Like, what am I going to do? Show you me making my bed and doing shipping and listing every day? That's not interesting. But then I thought, well, what if I sit down and talk about it and how you can use this for yourself? Because I do love to talk about time management and schedules and routines and all of that on this channel. So take what you can use for yourself. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know down below. Join our Facebook group, Flippin' Hippos Reseller Pod. You can go in there and talk to other like-minded resellers in a very positive atmosphere. If you want help or even motivation or ideas for time management and routines and how to keep track of it. Like I said, you can do a graphic, a bullet journal, you can do dry erase boards on your wall, but the sky's the limit, and you can go in that group and talk to a lot of people about the time management process of this job. All right, guys, go be productive, go make some money. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Y'all are the best. Bye.